Today we're announcing a new standardization effort, WASI, the system interface for running WebAssembly outside of the web. We've written a post about this system interface, and if you want more details, you can read that. But here I want to show this system interface in action. As we talk about in the post, there are two important principles from WebAssembly that the system interface needs to uphold: portability and security. Portability means being able to run the same code across different systems. And we can do this with WASI. Let's walk through this using Rust. So I'll create a simple project with cargo new. So you see here that we have this call to print line, which prints a line to standard output. Now to see this in action, we'll compile it to WebAssembly targeting WASI. Because I'm using this custom version of the compiler, I have to set an override, but once WASI is supported in nightly, this won't be necessary. Now I'll compile it. And this will give me a .wasm file, which I can then run in WASM time, a WebAssembly runtime that we're working on at Mozilla. So you see it prints hello world to standard output. We can also run this WASM file in the browser using a polyfill that we have that implements the WASI functions in terms of browser APIs. And then it'll output hello world to the console since there is no standard output for the browser. And we can also run it in Fastly's runtime, Lucet, which will be released tomorrow, because it also supports WASI. So that's portability. We can take the same WASM file and run it across a whole bunch of different runtimes and systems. WASI's approach to security is a more interesting innovation. So let's see this in action. This time, we'll write our code in C. So I have some code here that I'm going to use to demonstrate, and this code is going to do two things. It's going to try to open a file that we want it to have access to, and then it's going to try and open a file that we don't want it to have access to. This is the password file. So I'm going to compile this code to get a WASM file that I can run in WASM time. And when I run it, I'm going to pass in the directory that I want the application to have access to. And you'll see that it works. The application can access the directory that I gave it access to, but it can't access other files that might be sensitive. And this is true even if these files have the exact same permissions in the file system. And that's because WASI uses capabilities-based security instead of relying on ambient authority. For comparison, let's look at what happens when we compile using POSIX instead. So this kind of access is really risky when you're running code directly on your machine because your machine does have lots of sensitive data on it. Runtimes that emulate POSIX give you this kind of access. But our WASI compiled code can only open the files that it was given the capabilities to open, which means that runtimes using WASI can be much more secure. So that's WASI. It provides a portable, secure system interface for code running outside of the browser and inside it too. If you're interested in learning more or want to get involved, check out the post for more information.